Have you ever thought if you wanted to get into cold calling, you had to pay this insane $4,500, $4,000, $5,000 course to learn cold calling? Well, in today's video, I want to condense a $5,000 cold calling course into one webinar training to teach you exactly how to cold call very efficiently in the most condensed format possible and give it all for free. I'm doing that right now. So guys, let's get into it. Let's learn actually how to cold call absolutely for free. Just do me one big favor. Please smash that like button and subscribe if you want more information like this. Let's learn cold calling.
So cold calling in real estate wholesaling for beginners. So let's get going. So cold calling. So this is what I'm basically going to show you, teach you guys today with cold calling in regards to everything. So let's start from here. So I'm going to show you how to find the right list to cold call. Then I'm going to show you how to know if your market is actually right for cold calling for real estate wholesaling. It can be also for wholesaling if you're a realtor too, maybe. I'm going to show you the traits of successful cold callers. I'm going to show you some of the best cold calling services out there. I'm going to show you how to skip trace these leads for cold calling, free and paid. No skin in the game, guys. So I'll show you how to do it for free. I got some secrets back in the day about it, and I'll share my story and how I did some paid. Then I'm going to show you actually how to wholesale some of those deals and find buyers. That's a bonus. And then lastly, well, most importantly, I'm going to show you actually how to cold call. I'm going to give you my scripts. I'm going to give you all my secrets, and I'm going to share everything with you, my story with everything. So let's go. So before I go any further, guys, I'm going to say this a million times. If you can please like this video, subscribe if you're on Facebook, share to at least 4 groups if you can for real estate wholesaling, try to help people out. And if you're on Facebook, please like this video. And as long as you guys all do that, I would truly be appreciative of that, because the more people that actually like this, the more people they get seen, and the more people it's seen, they get asked questions. When they ask more questions, they ask questions that you didn't think of, but they're really, really important and that could really help you with everything. So that's basically, it's a positive feedback loop. So the more you like, share, subscribe, the better. So without further ado, let's get going. So let's talk about me and cold calling. So this gets me a little excited. This gets the juices flowing. So let's go back in the day. Let's go back to 2018. I was a year in, I just graduated high school, got a full ride scholarship to the University of Florida. And this is it. Packed my bags, went right there. So this is the Springs Complex. If you guys don't know, if you're any UF alumni, that's about right over there is the stadium. So you could hear everything on game day. I was actually at all the games game day, but we're not going to talk about college. So right there on the 3rd floor, then you keep going like east. Right here was my dorm room right there. And in that dorm room is really when I developed most of my cold calling skills. So I made over $100,000 in real estate wholesaling fees in high school, but they weren't from cold calling. Some of them were, but not too many. Most of them were through sweat equity with bandit signs, and mostly bandit signs really, and some driving for dollars, but mostly bandit signs where I made my fortune in high school. And I couldn't do bandit signs in Port St. Lucie, and like virtually in Gainesville, Florida. So I didn't know what to do. I figured out I had to shift my marketing, and I was going to get into cold calling. So basically what I did is I figured out cold calling, how to do it free, paid, and everything like that. So if you go to the next slide here, this is my dorm room actually. So I ended up at the University of Florida for about, I think, 6 months. And over the course of 6 months, so basically for 6 months, I was at the University of Florida, came back home and took the same University of Florida classes online. The school didn't know that, but I was allowed to take my test online since I was in the business school. I was a finance major at the time, and I just got my degree in and out, going in Gainesville, out of Gainesville. I was full-time in Port St. Lucie while doing all this. So thankfully to UF, they allowed me to do that. And but during that 6 months, when I was actually on campus taking classes, I did over 1,000 hours of cold calling. About 5 hours a day for about, I think 6, 7 months. I don't know the exact date, but I was literally cold calling. And after the 6 months, I basically came back home, took all my classes online, got my degree from UF. So I graduated, I think a year ago, probably, and got my degree. And then my cold calling stint was still going on after that. So good stuff, guys. So I did over 1,000 hours at that desk right there with my laptop and my cell phone with a Mojo dialer for 1,000 hours. I was on here, mostly on speaker. I didn't have AirPods, didn't have that kind of money yet, right? But just cold calling, cold calling, cold calling, cold calling. Went to class, hung out with friends, worked out, went to football games. Definitely not miss a football game. But I was cold calling, and I made a lot of money doing it. So that's why I'm qualified to kind of talk about this. That's why Rick's on here talking about it. It's mostly me because I put the grind in this. And you can't see how small that dorm room was. I had a roommate. He really enjoyed me cold calling 5-6 hours a day, but we're not going to interview him because he's not too happy about it. But good friend though. Love everyone there. So let's get going, guys. So what is cold calling? So basically, cold calling. Again, if you guys need to understand this, I literally wrote this. I didn't. This isn't like a big professional thing. I just give what my knowledge, my 1,000 hours is condensed. If there's misspellings or anything, don't blame me. I just did this pretty quickly. So I think PowerPoint actually tells me if I spelled something wrong or not, but I don't think I checked it. So cold calling is the art of finding motivated sellers by talking to a large amount of potential wholesaling leads through dialing your phone and calling them, smiling and dialing, baby. So basically, when you call them, what you want to do is you want to relay your message and ask a question to the seller. And depending on how they answer the specific question you give them, the scripts are going to, don't worry, the scripts are going to be there. They're going to be at one of the steps at the end there. So maybe in 25, 30 minutes, we'll get to that. But trust me, I'm giving you all the scripts. This is probably, actually, I know this. This is like a $6,000 course right now. Like, to have all this information, people have paid over $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 for this information I'm giving you. The gurus are knocking down my door. They're probably going to be knocking down this door right now, saying, Zach, I'm charging people thousands of dollars for this information. You don't share it. Don't share it. Like, Zach, like, they're going to put the duct tape on my mouth. They're going to drag me by my feet because they want to charge you $6,000 for all this information. I'm telling you, I'm giving you for free. So please like this video, subscribe, share it, do whatever you can. We're going to get the word out. I'm not a guru. I'm the anti-guru. I'm the anti-guru. So I'm just trying to stop all these people from paying thousands of dollars that they could have spent in their own marketing. So that's why I'm just trying to give all this info out for free. So again, if someone like the Kool-Aid man starts just busting through this door and just taking me away, dragging me out, it's the gurus trying to stop me. So they're probably going to try to cut power out of the house too. But we're not going to let them go. We're going to get all this free info for you guys today. And again, the biggest question I do get is, hey, is this recorded? Of course, this is recorded. So don't even worry if you're on Facebook. Go to Flip with Rick on YouTube, and it's recorded there. Also, pretty sure it keeps it on Facebook. So when you ask that specific question to the seller, you can either qualify him or disqualify him. We got all the scripts for you there. Then we're just going to go set the appointment, or we're going to create a follow-up with that. So we'll get more into that a little later. So let's talk about cold calling. So the pros versus the cons on cold calling. So the pros of cold calling, why I love it so much, why it helped me in college make so much money. The ad spend was probably like $4,000 or $5,000, and I made over $100,000 doing it in college doing it. So it's amazing. But the pros are cold calling is incredibly cheap, like comparatively to direct mail. SMS, we can fight about that, but it's so cheap, and it's such a great way to actually find deals. SMS probably more expensive if you did it itself, but it's definitely it's proven. I mean, I've made the money doing it. I know so many people are still making money cold calling. So cold calling is tried and true. It's proven. It's amazing. Cold calling, I would say, I've said this probably a million times. It's probably one of the fastest ways to get a deal. At the end of this call, if with all the info I gave you, there's a really good possibility that if you just stop cold call right after I'm done with this video, you'll probably get some nice leads and some appointments for the weekend. So it's one of the fastest ways to get a deal. It's probably one of the best ways to get your first deal. It's one of the, not a lot of people talk about this because they haven't been through the ringer and cold calling in a while. But as me, as a formidable person, as an 18-year-old kid in college, trying to get better with talking to people, talking to sellers, just over the phone, just talking. I became so good at talking to sellers just for the thousands of hours on the phone talking to them, versus maybe doing SMS where I'm typing it out and not learning skills of actual talking to them, mirroring, things like that. We're going to get all that. Don't even worry. But it was like free throw shooting. Like I could watch a million hour, like I could probably watch 100 hours of Michael Jordan shooting basketball, playing. It's cool. You're watching it. It's nice. But me actually going out there in the court and, playing with Michael Jordan and actually getting better, it'd be good. Michael Jordan would kill me. He's like 6'6". I'll get killed. LeBron, he'd just dunk over me. It'd be very sad. But we're not going to get into that, of how sad it would be if LeBron or Michael Jordan tried to play me in basketball. But I try to out cold call him. I think I can. Best way to get. So you can scale it too. So cold calling, you can scale it if you do it right. I 100% will agree. Cold calling is scalable if you do it the right way. We'll talk about that a little further. And then some of the cons of cold calling are cold calling can be expensive if you hire the wrong people. If you try to hire callers and it's not right, you don't do it right. It can be very expensive and you can lose money cold calling. If you're cold calling by yourself, if you're new to cold calling in the game here, you can get pretty good at it. Cold calling is time consuming. I'm not going to lie to you. It's very time consuming, but it's also one of the most proven ways to get deals. Cold calling also, this is the truth. No one's going to tell you this. They're all going to say, hey, buy my program. It's going to be amazing. There's no hard work involved. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to sober everyone up here. Cold calling requires an extremely hard work ethic and just a grinder mentality. The only thing I could explain there is if you watch a couple of David Goggins videos, you'll realize running like David Goggins and cold calling are the same exact thing. It's a marathon. It's tough. It's gritty. It's painful. There's many times you want to quit and you just got to get over it. We'll get over that. We'll go over that a little more, but it requires extreme mental toughness. And with cold calling, you can actually get mentally tougher while doing it. It's one of the best formidable teachers, I would say, ever. So let's keep going. So let's talk about the laws about cold calling. So quick disclaimer, Zach Ginn, Rick Ginn, and Flip with Rick. Personally, for me, I am not a lawyer, professional NFL player. I'm not a CPA, PGA golf pro, financial advisor, tax advisor. Please seek legal counsel or advice from a licensed professional before doing anything I'm saying about cold calling. Again, quick disclaimer, legal jargon, blah, 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 blah. So here are the laws you really need to understand about cold calling, really. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm telling you this, not a lawyer, bro. Don't sue me, bro. But here's some of the laws you should know about cold calling. Again, I can't get state specific, so that's why I'm not a lawyer. Again, I got people around the country. I mean, we have so many subscribers, so many friends on Facebook that watch this, so many people in these groups from probably all 50 states, maybe some international guys out there doing virtual stuff. So you need to understand this. Depending on the state you're in, you can only call from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. That is law number one you guys should always follow. Outside of that, sellers are just going to be mad at you. It's just not good business. Unless the seller specifically states that on a follow-up, call me at 6 a.m. or 10 p.m. I've had that once. Number two, don't be spammy. Just don't. Don't cold call the same person out of the blue with the same script 5 times in a week. That's spammy. It's not going to work. It's too much. That's not even it's kind of a law, not really. But I just put that in there. That's Zach's law, I guess. Number three, do not call the DNC list, the do not call list. If you know that someone's on the DNC list, do not call them. I'm going to be vague with that one just because you can't know, but sometimes you can. So if someone's legally on the DNC list and you call them and you didn't know, you shouldn't get in trouble. But if you knowingly know, I guess so. If you call your grandma and you know she's on the DNC list and she doesn't like you, then maybe. But that's it. Most places scrub litigators with the skip tracing. I know Batchley says that. So those are really the laws around it. So remember, guys, I'm giving you just giving some info before we get into the real meat of how to do everything, just so you have the most knowledge possible. Again, I'm pretending like you know nothing about cold calling so you can be the most prepared. And what I want to do is, let's say you're terrible at boxing and you learn from this terrible boxer. And you're absolutely terrible at it. What if I just stripped all your knowledge of it and try to build it with the basics like Mike Tyson? So this is what I'm trying to do now. So remember, in cold calling, data is the nail and the script is the hammer. So that's the way I like to look at everything when it comes to cold calling. Is you can't get the job done without the data or the script. You need them both. And if you use them both together, it is deadly. So the right data and the right script is just so powerful, guys. And again, the person is the person hammering it, which is also very important. So let's get into step one, guys. So step one, finding the right market for cold calling. So the right way to know if your market is really good for cold calling for real estate wholesaling or wholesaling real estate, I would recommend that you ask around local real estate investors or association groups. So ask people, like, hey, you got a colleague there, he's wholesaling, he's making six figures a year, and he's cold calling. Like, hey, is cold calling working for you? Are you having success? What are the best lists? Just be knowledgeable, try to give value out to people, try to be the best person possible with these people, and just see if cold calling is working in that market. So if you're in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and you're figuring out that no one's cold calling, and you got to figure out why. Everyone says, oh, cold calling, the ROI is not good here. Then maybe you go to like Raleigh, North Carolina, and you got kids making 100K, like $100,000 deals in Raleigh, North Carolina through cold calling. So it's just connecting with people, having their phone numbers, seeing where people post on groups and saying they're doing so well cold calling in this market. That's really what I could say. A lot of people like to post that they made all this money cold calling in this market. That's another way you can do if you don't want to network with people. Also understand, if others say that they failed in cold calling, and let's say here in Port St. Lucie, they say, oh, cold calling sucks. It's terrible. You can't get deals cold calling in Port St. Lucie. I've gotten deals cold calling in Port St. Lucie. I've had JV bird dogs say that cold call in Port St. Lucie, they gave me the deal and then we JV'd and make like 5-10K. So I know cold calling works in my market. So if someone tells you, let's say you're my market, and they say, hey, cold calling sucks, it doesn't work. It's absolute worst. Well, I know it works. Your data's probably bad, or your script's really bad. So that's why I'm giving you some of the best scripts and data advice on here. So just have that in mind. If someone tells you that cold calling sucks in your market, that's probably why. So another reason here is just see the success with cold calling in your market again. Talk to people and just try to understand what they're doing in their market, see if they're having success. And again, the last one to do is just try to cold call and see. Test it out. See if it's working. Test out different lists, different scripts. See what works the best for you in your cold calling journey for wholesaling. So we'll go to step two here. So now you know what the right market is. Now we're going to find the right cold calling list. So the best cold calling list, I say hands down, is tax delinquency lists. Tax delinquent, people that are behind on their taxes. Again, you can get it from your local city or county. I'm not going to go too much into that, but keep hammering your city or county and getting those lists. Second one, the best cold calling list is probates. If you want to learn more about probates, how to pull them, how to cold call them correctly, I can go in a 10-hour video about that. Go to probaterick.com. That's Rick Ginn's probate course for Flip with Rick. I'm not going to plug that too much. That's really the only product that we ever sell, but 99% of everything we give out is free. So interested in probates, probaterick.com. It's the #1 best-selling probate course in the United States, guaranteed. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about that. But yeah, high equity list is probably one of the best ones. It's a huge list, probably the most time-consuming list out there, but there's 100% deals in there. To pull the high equity lists, I recommend you go to listrei.com. That's listrei.com. Basically gives you a free trial of the PropStream to try it out, or I'll just help you go to PropStream. Second is the Driving for Dollars list. The Driving for Dollars list is absolutely deadly. I love Driving for Dollars. So you can actually go to Deal Machine to drive for dollars. Listrei.com, PropStream actually has it with it. So if you get a subscription to PropStream with high equity, you can actually drive for dollars and do List REI with it. There's an app that you can drive for dollars with PropStream. So it's amazing. You get basically Deal Machine and List Source together for one low price. So that's the last thing I'm going to say about that. So code violations, another amazing list to cold call. It's not too much. Maybe you'll get 200 to 300 in your city or county at most in a month if you're in a somewhat metro city. So you can pull it from your city or county. Again, let's say, for example, you live in Miami. Miami has Miami-Dade County and then has the city of Miami. Two completely different lists. So remember that. And I don't know how Phoenix works. Maybe it's Maricopa County and the city of Phoenix. I don't know, but I know Miami, that's how it works. And then try to cold call your yeses from SMS or direct mail. Throw them in there. Maybe if they're really cold leads, maybe nice to reintroduce yourself. So 3 is once we pull that list, once we get like our code violation list, let's say, we can either pay to get that thing skip traced or get a skip trace list for free. So how are we going to do this? So skip tracing again is basically a, I don't know, it's like a detective, like cop term. And that term basically tells us and shows how do we get this person's whereabouts? How do we get their phone number? So the best way to find someone's phone number, let's say for a code violation, let's say John Smith at 123 Main Street here in Port St. Lucie, Florida. His walls are caving in. He doesn't have any money to repair the property. He's got a lot of equity. We can make a lot of money on a wholesale deal with that one. And let's just say like, hey, he wants to sell it, but I have it. Like I see he wants to sell his property. Like it'd be really good if I get a hold of this guy. There's $10,000 on the table right there. But how am I gonna get the phone number? You can either go to truepeoplesearch.com, which is free, and you search all of his info in there, and you'll get 3 phone numbers from the guy. It's about a 60% chance you'll get that phone number. It's very manual. It's extremely, say this again, it's extremely time consuming to use truepeoplesearch.com. Ask me how I know, because I was broke and I had to do it all myself. But again, True People Search is probably the best one if you literally have no money at all. And then once you get into paid, your time becomes more and more important. I recommend you go to lead batch leads, probably the cheapest wholesaling, cheapest skip tracing you could basically get. Use code Zach, get 20% off. It's the last plug I'm going to do with skip tracing. Go to needtoskip.com. It's another really good one. And then Rocket Skip Tracing is another good one from my friend over in California. So he runs a skip tracing company. He's a good one too. So Rocket Skip Tracing, Need to Skip, and Batch Leads. Those are really good ones to actually get the real skip tracing out there. If you want to go find their leads and probably get 70 to 80%. That I use basically all these companies. I've used them before. They're all reputable and good. So number 4 is once we get the phone number, thousands, we're going to get thousands of phone numbers, right? Through those lists, we're going to go to www.flipwithrick.com/cold call. So the most important part about that is a proven script. Literally word for word, I put my exact script I used when I was back in that college dorm room. I said the same exact script. I can go pull all my roommates out if you want me to, and they will literally tell me, they will literally show you I said the exact same words. 5 hours a day, grinder. That script comes with basically the same exact wording I used in college to make all that money. It came with the objections I got, the most common ones, and how to set appointments. So I had boots on the ground there. Sometimes I'd virtually take deals down. That's why I did a bunch of virtual wholesaling videos before. Go to Flip with Rick YouTube if you want more info on virtual wholesaling. I'd probably go to YouTube, search virtual wholesaling Flip with Rick. That would be the best one. So that's it. Get the proven script. The things, I don't know where I could see it, but it's below. Scrolling. That's how you get the free cold calling script. Again, you get exactly what you pay for, free, except $6,000. They haven't busted my door yet. So wall's pretty sturdy. There's some studs right here. So maybe they're going to come bust and try to take me out because they want to charge you all this money for coaching here. So step 5, we're going to practice. Again, I'm going to use basketball quotes because the Miami Heat are playing today. Oh, man, we got killed by the Lakers last time, but coming back, baby. Come on. Yeah, so we're going to practice, guys. I like basketball, I like football. I like sports as an analogy. You can do fishing if you want. I like whatever you think, texting. You get good at things. But again, we're going to practice our scripts very well. Like we're going to practice. We're going to know exactly. Like it's like a game. It's like a game plan. Like, hey, I'm going maybe from the military, and you have to go on a mission. Before you go on the mission, you're going to have a meeting. You're going to practice what you got to do. You're going to make sure. Honestly, I'm going to stop having the military because I don't know how the military works. Never served, but I'm thankful for everyone that does serve. So thank you to the veterans. But what I think is, if you're on a mission, let's say in the military, I'm guessing that you want to plan out what the mission is. You're going to go over scenarios in your head, what could happen, because you don't want to be in a situation where you're cold calling someone, they say something, you're like, I don't know what the answer to that is. What you want to do is you want to practice. I got the scripts for you there, and we're going to understand exactly what happens. So when we're actually in the cold call, I know, hey, I practiced this. I know exactly. They're going to say, hey, who are you? What's your company? Or they're going to say, how did you get my information? You'd be like, I used batchleads.com. No, we're not going to say that. We have specific objection answers so we can get a deal and hurdle over the objection. So we're going to practice everything. So this is what we need to practice and understand before we cold call. So here's the typical script. Again, this isn't This is a different script than the actual one on www.flipwithrick.com/cold call. Again, it's all free. All you got to do is put your email in there, and I will personally send you an email of the script. That's kind of how I capture all the emails so I can send them all out at one time, because I get like thousands of people putting in their emails. So if I had to individually email 1,000 people, I wouldn't be able to do this. So that's the way it kind of works, is you put your email in there, and then it'll make a list for me, and then I can manually I can basically send the script out to all those people at once. So I'll do that after here, or maybe I have an assistant. She might be able to do it for your email right now. Let me know if you send the email right now, if it goes to you instantly. That'd be pretty cool too. But here's the typical script. This isn't one of the scripts in there because I made this. So this is the one I used in college. I'm keeping that a secret. You got to go to www.flipwithrick.com/cold call for that one. But again, ask, hey, this is the first question we're going to ask though. So we got to ask the question. We got to throw the seller off. So we're going to ask them to say, hey, is this the owner of 123 Main Street? Now, why am I not asking this? This is what a lot of cold callers do. They say, hey, this is Zach with Port St. Lucie, like house buyers, and I want to buy your property all cash. I'm a local reputable company that buys multiple properties in the area depending on their condition. If your property is good, bad, or ugly, we'll buy it. Like they'll go in like a 5-minute spiel on their little cold calling script. They'll go for 5 minutes, exactly what they do, everything about them, and they'll give their social security number out. They'll give all your info out, and it's like robotic. It feels like you're talking to a telemarketer. You feel like you're being sold. You're not a friend. You're not local. Like it's terrible. So I go the more personal route. So the typical wiring in someone's brain for a seller is when they hear that whole thing getting said, they're going to say, so are you interested in a cash offer on your property? Like it just sounds like a just saleswoman. It's you know exactly what it sounds like. So what we want to do is when they get that, like, I don't know, monotone sales pitch thing going, most people in their head are like, no, I don't want that. Ew, get away from me. What you want to do is they're in that mode of saying, no, ew, telemarketer. They already don't know the number that's getting called. They took the courage to answer it. So now they're kind of on edge. And they want to say no. They want to deflect. They want to get out of there as soon as possible. We want them in there, and we want to get more info about their house and get a deal maybe. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw them off a little by asking them a question. And it's not even going to relay the message to us. So in gray right here, where it says, is this the owner of 123 Main Street? Now they're like, yes. Now you spark their curiosity, or who's asking, or like they're very like, this person knows my phone number. They know where I live. Well, I better figure out what's going on. So now they're intrigued. Now they're not saying no to everything. Now you have their attention, because if you went that whole like thing about how you're a local wholesaler type guy, they're just going to shut you off. They don't want to deal with you. They'll enjoy the rest of their day. They had a long day at work or something. So now we piqued their interest. Maybe they're like, hey, is my significant other arrested? Is my girlfriend arrested? Do I go and pick her up? Am I going to jail? Like, did I win $1 million? Did someone get hurt? Like, what's going on? Did I win the lottery? What's going on? Like, did I inherit $1 million from my great aunt in Romania? Like, what's like, they're just like, what could happen? There's so many possibilities. And then you hit them with something like, hey, this is Zach. I'm looking to buy 3 more houses around Port St. Lucie for cash. And I was just seeing if a cash offer on your house would be of interest to you. And now they're not in no mode. They're like, oh, because they're listening to every word you say in detail, because they're hoping that maybe like what's going on. They're rushed, like, oh my gosh. So it works very well. That's definitely something that I've really done. It's a little different. It's a little better than this one, but I wanted to give you some of a little sneak peek of the scripts below. So that's it. That's basically the typical script. I went too long with that one, but my bad. So think of the mind of the seller though. Again, we're going to learn psychology. We're going to be a clinical psychologist here. So the seller is going to ask you these questions. I mean, these are the questions that they want. So this is the mind of most sellers. They're going to think in their head, who is this? What do they want? And how can they be a benefit of me? Remember, we're in the United States of America, where everyone's like, me, benefit me. They don't want to help others. Again, I'm a little different than that. But that's what the typical seller wants to know. They want to know who you are, What do you want, and how can it be a benefit to me? So we're going to answer that. I'm Zach Ginn. I'm a local buyer here in whatever city you're in. So let's say you're, what is it? Like Minnesota. Let's say you're somewhere in Minnesota, like Duluth, Minnesota. It's like, I'm in Duluth, Minnesota. What do you want? I'm looking to buy some more properties. Are you interested in selling your property? How can that benefit me? I don't have any closing costs. You can get cash for your property now. It's really easy. And I could potentially buy it in 2 to 3 weeks. So here are the 4 potential answers you're going to get from cold calling. So you literally ask the question here. You ask, hey, this is Zach. I'm looking to buy 3 more properties around Atlanta, Georgia. Don't say Atlanta, Georgia. Just say Atlanta. It sounds more local. Don't say hot Atlanta. Don't say anything like crazy, but just say, hey, in Atlanta for cash. And I was just seeing if cash offer on your house would be of interest to you. And they're going to give you these 4 potential answers. That's it. Like, don't be scared of what they're going to say. They're either going to say these 4 things. They're going to say, yes, I want to sell my property cash. Or they're going to say, no. They're going to say, I don't know, maybe, or they're going to give you an objection. So we're going to go into all these answers right now. So let's say they say yes. Say, yes, I want to sell my property all cash. It's a deal. Every call is a deal. It's amazing. You're not going to get too many of those. Again, we can go into KPIs a little further on this. But if you get a yes on this is what you got to do. You got to qualify the seller. We're going to see if they actually qualify for us to go on an appointment and get a deal. So we want to ask these questions. We want to see what the condition of the property is. We want to understand what their motivation for selling is. We want to know what their time frame is and what price they're at selling it. Basically, in that order, we're going to build a report in between there. Again, we have more stuff in the script on that one. But overall condition, where's the condition of the property, roof, AC, interior updates, things like that. Motivation, why do you want to sell your property? Why do you need to sell it? Is there a reason? Why aren't you listing the property? Time frame basically talks about, like, hey, when do you want to sell the property? Like, is this something you're looking to sell in the next 2 years, next like 7 days, next 30 days? Like, you're just trying to figure it out. And then lastly is price. How much do they want to sell the property for? So that's the least common of the answers, but that's when you get deals. They're out there. You got to go get them. Now, these are next. So this is the most common one to me, no. So basically the way you answer a no is, for no's, we're not going to go shift them back and get a deal from it. If they don't want to sell their house, that's most sellers. Frankly, I'm just being honest with you, that's most sellers. So what we're just going to say is, okay, have a great rest of your day. But before I go, now this is very important. This is something very important you got to say is, before I go, is there anyone you know that may be looking to sell their home soon? So that's what you want, because possibly I've gotten this before. I've gotten appointments before where people say, yeah, my aunt, she's looking to actually sell. She's got all this equity. It's a good deal. So always ask that question. You always use that script. Then we're going to get into maybes. So maybes is not acceptable for me. Either it needs to be yes or no, black or white, red or blue. We got to figure out what it is. So we just got to dive deeper on maybes. Say, I don't know. Just ask them, hey, were you thinking about selling this property before I called you? Yeah, it kind of was. That's more of a yes. And we can kind of get the appointment, and we got to understand why, get the qualifications on it. Again, if they don't qualify, if the time frame is really far, if they want too much, or if the motivation is there, or the condition is like way too good, and maybe it's a waterfront mansion, maybe not. But if they're yes, but they're like still on the fence, like, hey, I probably want to sell in like a year or two, put them on the follow-up. And then objections. So these are the most common objections you're going to get. Again, everything is in the script, www.flipwithrick.com/cold call. That's where you're going to get everything. But basically, the top objections you're going to get is these. Again, I've dealt with so many of these objections before. They make me cringe every time, because I've thought thousands of times I've gotten these. I've gotten thousands of these, like, word for word lines. So people have asked me thousands of times, who are you? You're going to answer that objection. It's in the script. It's basically something like, hey, I'm Zach. I'm looking to buy some more properties for cash. Something real simple. Like, again, you're trying to be their friend, trying to be not a salesman, just trying to be as typical and regular as possible. So the second one of objections is, hey, is this a scam? Like, what's going on? So they just want to know if you're scamming them or not. Which you're not. You're a legitimate company, organization. Everything you're doing is legal. So no, this is not a scam. They're going to ask a lot of times, like, how do you get my phone number? How do you get my information? what's going on? Usually what I say is, hey, the information I got is just public records, public information, or maybe I got it from a marketing department. Depends how big of a company you want to be. If you want to be this big hedge fund, say, hey, the marketing got this, not me. Basically, that's what it is. So they're going to ask you, they're going to hound you. That's one of the toughest objections to get to convert into a yes. It's how do you get my number information? I've done it before. I've showed you guys that word for word, but I've done those before. The fourth one is probably one of the least common ones, but I do get them. So they're kind of tough ones for a lot of newer guys to get. But it's like, hey, I'm not comfortable with giving out my information. So you might get that question sometimes. And the way to answer that really is, I totally understand that. I'm a stranger. You're a stranger. We don't know each other. If you're not comfortable giving out your information about your condition of the property, that's okay. You're probably just not looking to sell them, right? Oh, no, I'm looking to sell them. Well, what's the holdup? I mean, I buy multiple properties and I'm looking to buy it. I mean, what's really the holdup? Like, you just got to keep getting further and further, dig deeper, and try to qualify from there. And the last objection, annoying one for me. This is just, it irks me every time because they say this exact line. I'm not lying at all. I'm not being funny. But this is it. I have a realtor. They say it just like that, or they say, I'm a realtor. I'm a licensed realtor. They make a huge emphasis on real tour, and then it's like, I've gotten this 1,000 times, is just gets under my skin every time. I'm just letting you know, join the club. Trust me. All love to all the realtors out there, but sometimes, usually when I cold call and the realtors, they're very nasty. I put the little R restricted because that's, realtors love that. They love it. I'm trying to give you all the respect possible. So they love the little registered trademark next to it. So don't even get me going on that one. So yeah. So a lot of people, they feel very nervous and anxious before they do the first cold calling. And the only thing I can really tell you is a couple things here. So the first one is, if you're nervous or anxious about cold calling, so many people are. That's why they don't like going on like physical appointments. They actually like doing virtual ones, which is the same exact thing to me. But we're not going to get into that. But remember, guys, scared money don't make money. Like, if you're scared to cold call, you're not going to get the moolah. You're not going to get that money, man, or gal. Like, you're not going to get the money. So go out there, be brave, do something that scares you every single day. I'm a big proponent of that. It's harder now. You can't really go out too much with COVID-19 and all that, but we're not going to get into that too. But remember, guys, scared money don't make money. If you're scared to cold call, scared to make money, wholesaling, then maybe cold calling is not the right thing for you. But again, it's a special breed of person, but it's a special breed of person that is a wholesaler and can make money, be an entrepreneur, not live a 9-to-5 job. Special breed of person. And if you're that person, you got to go out there and conquer it. Ask yourself, if you're too nervous or scared to cold call, why are you doing this? Like, think about it. Why are you cold calling? Like, why are you in wholesaling? Why are you trying to be an entrepreneur? Why are you trying to start your own real estate wholesaling business? Are you doing this for your ego? Or are you doing this for money? Or are you doing this to quit a job? Like, think about that motivation. It's going to get tough out there, cold calling. Also ask yourself, like, who am I doing this for? Are you doing this for your wife, your significant other? Do you have a kid? Think about why you're doing it and who you're doing it for. That'd be a huge motivation to get over the nervousness or anxiety. Remember, the best way to get over this is actually doing it, actually like getting over it. But also think about this. The easiest one to think about, like, what's the worst that can happen? Someone says, bleep off, or bleep you, like bleep, like they just curse you out and they're like, oh, whatever. Like, I'm like, whatever, on the next one. Like that Jay-Z song, on the next one, baby. I can't say it like that, you know. So on the next one. So when am I going to? So it's a weird one. So a lot of people ask me is like, when am I going to be like you in cold calling, Zach? Or how am I going to be the master of cold calling? How am I going to be this cold calling ninja? The truth is, you don't have to be really good at cold calling to have deals from it. You just have to the proven script, the right work ethic, and track record. So basically, the fastest way to get good at cold calling is by cold calling. That is the truth. Putting the hours and the grind into it. Again, it's a grinder's mentality. Just got to get out there and do it. Like, if you're gonna get really good at weightlifting or get like strong muscles, go out there and work out and just do it. Get really good at running. Go out there and start running. You know, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna get sore, but you got to keep just hammering through and just keep going. So there's going to be a lot of times in cold calling where you're just going to like I used to cold call 5, 6 hours a day. After hour four, I was like, man, I don't want to cold call anymore. Like this sucks. Like this is absolutely terrible. Like, oh my gosh, like I want to quit. Like I want to stop. Like I'm done for the day. Can I just hang out? Like I have a test or whatever. Again, grades, but we're not gonna talk about that. I got good grades in school, so I get cold call 5, 6 hours a day. But think about that. Like once you hit hour 4 or 5 in cold calling, you think about these same reasons why you're nervous or anxious. You want to stop cold calling. Remember, scared money don't make money. That always pumped me up. Why are you doing this? Who are you doing it for? And what's the worst I can have if I don't make this money and help myself? Financial freedom. Work a 9 to 5 job the rest of my life. Not knocking anyone who has a 9 to 5 job. Very noble to have one and provide for the family. But some breed of humans just want to go out there and create their own empires out there. So the fastest way to get is by cold calling. So step 6 here is now we kind of have everything together. We know the scripts. We know what we do. We practiced everything. We're like, hey, Zach, let's go. What you're thinking is, hey, you're going to go right here. You're going to open your phone. And what we're going to do is we're going to go here and we're just going to start dialing phone numbers on 1,000 lists. And we're going to start calling. Guys, you're going to get killed doing that. So if you want to cold call, probably you can cold call in an hour, let's say 1 to 200, hopefully with a triple line dialer. Let's get into triple line dialers. If I had a cold call, if I had to manually do it, I could probably get a hold of maybe 40 phone calls in an hour. But what if you can do 2 to 300? That's almost what, 7 to 6 times faster. So if I cold call for a year, what if there's a way that was really cheap that I could cold call 7 years in 1 year? It's called the triple line dialer. So the way triple line dialer works is you can upload your Excel list that you got from ListSource, and then you literally ListSource or ProfStreamListREI.com, and you put it in the batch leads. You got the phone numbers on there, and then you put it in, and you put it out. Basically, what's going to do is it's going to call 3 phone numbers at a time, and then whoever picks up will put you in the queue, and then the other 2, if one of them answers, they're in the queue to call you. So you're constantly talking to people. You can talk to people at 5, 6, 7, 8 times as fast of a rate. It's called the triple line dialer. They're usually $80 to $100 per month. It's the only investment in like cold calling I would say is worth it 100%. Not hiring someone, but having a Zen call or Mojo dialer would be the most important one. Remember, the most important commodity for humans. I don't care if we're talking about life, business, anything, is time. So if you could save 7, 8 times the time, go to a service like ZenCall or Mojo Dialer. There's a triple line dialing service. Save you so much time. It'll help you so much, guys. Again, I have people I put on getting triple line dialers, and they've told me this is the game changer. You get 5 to 6, 7, 8 times as many deals as you did before. It's amazing. One of the best investments you can make is cold calling, ZenCall or Mojo Dialer, hands down. Now you could do a single line dialer, but if you're really broke, you can do it. But I do recommend, again, just using a triple line dialer service. Again, if you want to use I recommend doing CallRail to get your phone numbers. Maybe use Google Voice, whatever you really want to do. Just figure it out, whatever is in your budget. So step 7 here, we're not even calling yet, but I do recommend that we make a marketing schedule. So the marketing schedule is going to have times we want to market or cold call and the times we actually want to budget. So let's say, for example, you say, hey, you're a real grinder through Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'm going to cold call. No ifs, ands, or buts. I'm cold calling. And maybe I'll eat a lunch at 1 and then dinner at like 7:30. Dedicate that time to cold calling. There's no ifs, ands, or buts for the entire year, 6 months or month. That is my marketing schedule. And maybe I want to spend $500 a month for marketing for that one. Or let's say, hey, you go on a lot of appointments, you do really well, or maybe you're like a student. Tuesday and Thursdays, we're going to cold call from 5 to 7 p.m. and your budget's $200 a month. Figure out what it is, what you want, what you really want to do. But I do recommend once you make that budget schedule, don't deviate from it. Don't make excuses and just do it. That's why I recommend everyone having a workout schedule, a wake up schedule. Just have a scheduled, like disciplined part of your business could really help you out. I get asked a lot, guys, hey, what's the best marketing? What's the best time to go marketing for cold calling for motivated sellers? I say usually from 4 to 7 is the best time, I would say. You get the best response rates on it, but you can do it throughout the day, really. Like anything past noon till 7 is probably the best, I would say. So what schedule should I make for my cold calling lists? I get this question all the stinking time. So the way to answer it is just figure out how many calls you can do an hour after your first month. Every list is different. You just got to reverse engineer everything. Every market list, even you're different on your calling. Even Zen Mojo dialers can be a little different in between. So if, let's say you have a list of 30,000, high equity, tax delinquent, all that. It's 30,000 is the list. It's a big list, right? We figured out we can probably cold call 10,000 leads a month. So what we're going to do basically with that schedule, and again, this isn't my list, this isn't your list, it's just all arbitrary numbers. Let's say we can just rotate that list quarterly. So in January, I'm going to cold call lead 1 through 10,000. Then February from 10,000 to 20,000. Then March from 20,000 to 30,000. And in April, we're going to rehit 1 to 10,000 and keep hitting them every quarter. I don't recommend hitting anything past a quarter or in between a quarter, because that might be too like soon for cold calling. After 3 months, things change for people. Motivations change. That's why people do direct mail every single month, because everything changes on a monthly basis. And again, this is all going to be recorded, so you can go back here, screenshot everything you want. Please take notes. I do recommend take notes and ask questions. Ask questions in the chat, because I'm doing a Q&A after this. So I'd love to do it. So step 7 here is game time, guys. Now we're going to get calling. Now we're going to start Mojo dialing, Zen calling. We're going to get all that done, and we're just going to start calling, baby. And it's game time. We're calling. We're doing our schedule. We're doing our budget. Everything, all the preparation has brought us to this exact moment, and we're ready to go. So some of the tips I can give to you, since we're in the weeds of it, we're cold calling now. Practice your opener really well. Remember, you want to be a friend of the seller. You don't want to be the salesman, telemarketer, saleswoman, telemarketing person. Use the scripts I give you. They are proven. They work very well. PTP has a really good script. I love Brent Daniels. He's got a great system for cold calling. He's on my podcast. He drops value in gyms like crazy. Check out the Brent Daniels podcast I did too. I'll put it at the end screen after today or tomorrow on there for that. Really good. Remember, you want to match people's tones when you're cold calling them. So you want to really be a chameleon when it comes to cold calling through the sellers with their tones. So what do I mean by this? So let's say you have a seller and you say, hey, this is Zach, seeing if you're interested in selling your property, whatever you want. And you get someone to say, yeah, I was thinking about selling my property. It needs some work. Like, you get something like that. What I would immediately do is say, yeah, what I'm basically trying to do is just buy some other houses for cash. I'm just trying to buy some more properties. Would you be, like, you said you need some work. Like, what kind of work does it need? Like, you're trying to mirror them. And they're going to say this, they're going to think in my head like, hey, I like this guy. This guy, he sounds pretty cool. What people do is unconsciously, they like people who are like themselves. So if someone looked just like me, they talk like me, they have the same mannerisms as me, and they like the same sports team, I'd be like, oh, I love this person. It's amazing. So they think the same thing. So let's say you cold call and say, hey, are you the owner of 123 Main Street? Yes, I am the owner of 123 Main Street. This is Mary. I'll say this. Hey, Mary, how's it going? This is actually Zach, and I'm looking to buy some more properties around Port St. Lucie. Are you possibly interested in selling your house? Yeah, I was looking to sell my like, they get really high energy, and they're like, this guy's high energy. I like him. He's a great person. Seems like a person I want to do business with. So like mirroring tones like that be really good. Again, don't copy what they say word for word, their tone exactly. Still be sort of unique, be their friend, but mirroring tones can really help you. That tone mirroring thing can go the same as basically going on appointments too. So also ask open-ended questions. I always recommend you do that. Say, hey, where were you looking to move to in the next 6 months if you sold this place? That's an open-ended question. They could say anything. Don't give me yes or no. Keep the conversation flowing. And basically, the way it works is you can keep the conversation going, which will build more rapport, which will help you get more information from the seller. Always ask, again, the condition of the property, the time frame for selling, the motivation, the price. And lastly, remember this. This is one of the best advice I've heard in cold calling. This isn't, Rick didn't make this, I didn't make it. But think about this. Let's say you get a $10,000 deal for every 100 hours you're on the phone cold calling. That literally means you would be making $100 an hour cold calling. Now remember, if you knew you were making $100 an hour cold calling, you wouldn't be, someone would have to rip you off your phone because you're making $100 an hour cold calling. Like someone have to rip you out of that phone to do it, and that you never stop cold calling. You cold call 15 hours a day, but it's the same exact thing. Think about that if you want some more motivation on your cold calling. So again, I promised you a bonus here. So we're going to give it to you. The quick bonus for today is I'm going to show you how to cold call for cash buyers. So let's say you get a deal from cold calling and you actually want to get some cash buyers from it. What I recommend you do is go to listrei.com, which is basically prop stream. What we're going to do is we're going to call our cash buyers. We're going to ask them, hey, John, or whatever. We're going to still skip trace. These are for cash buyers. We're going to ask, say this. I have a deeply discounted property in Fort Pierce, and I was looking to see if you'd be open to buying some more of my properties at a deep discount so you can make money off of it. What would you say? Yeah, I actually own some properties over here. Like, I'd love to buy more properties. Of course, I'm making a killing doing what I'm doing. Talking to flippers, things like that. So let me show you actually how you do that a little more. Let's see, do we actually have people on? Oh, wow, we're getting lots of comments. Awesome, guys. Appreciate that. So let's see here. So now we're in prop stream. I think people can see me in prop stream. So let's say, let's see, think of a place. Let's do Denver, Colorado. So let's go to Colorado here. Let's say that's my market, and I'm looking for someone in, let's go around here real quick. Let's do Lakewood, Colorado. So let's say right here, I got a smoking deal and I'm looking to cold call for cash buyers in Lakewood, Colorado. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to listrei.com, which is basically prop stream right here. We're going to go to filter, and then on filter right here, we are going to go quick list choice, and we're just going to go to flippers, and we're going to go here, and we can cold call 56 of these deals. So let's say this example right here. Let's see. So 5786 West Arizona Avenue in Lakewood, Colorado. So we'd be cold calling Dana Bradorf. So basically what happened here was, let me get the info for you. I'm trying to find out. $399. So Dana here bought the property for, just listed it. So it's going off of, I'm trying to find the transaction history on this. 285, they sold it via financing on this one. So this one, they won't be flipping this one. So this is one you take off. Let me try to find another one. So usually this one's pending, so that'd probably be it, right? Trying to find it. Yeah, here it is. So Executive Properties LLC, listrei.com is what we're using for this one. And basically what we can do on here is, this is it. We can skip trace it through batch leads. We can actually skip trace the LLC and their PO box number. What we can see here is that one's kind of messed up, the last one. But this one, they bought it for $395,000 and they put on the MLS for $417, looking to flip the property. So you can just say something, hey, I have a property here in Lakewood, Colorado. I see you buy properties. You're an investor locally, right? Yeah, I'm an investor. I have some properties at a deep discount. I'm just trying to unload, get rid of. You definitely make some profits on it. Would you be open to possibly buying it? And of course I am. So can you send proof of funds here, here, and here, and then we can make money off of that. So that is basically what you do.
Thank you so much for watching that video today. If you want more free value for wholesaling real estate, remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Guys, if you want to join the best wholesaling real estate mentorship in the planet and join the wholesaling course that has the most people in it in the history of the world for wholesaling real estate, go to freewholesaling.com. It's free. There's no gimmicks. There's no upsells in this course. It is an absolute free wholesaling course. I've been told to charge thousands and thousands of dollars for it. I give it out for free. So like this video and subscribe. Join the movement for wholesaling real estate and go to freewholesaling.com and join my Wholesaling Houses for Real Facebook group. That is the largest mastermind in the country of like-minded wholesaling entrepreneurs who want to get connected absolutely for free and learn wholesaling real estate. Guys, I'll hope to see you there. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Have a blessed one.